My way through another week in December, and that is totally difficult to do, especially as a school social worker. Yes, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. A 2-week holiday break is coming up, so if you're not doing school social work, then I mean, I don't even know. You need to be in it. It's great. I've had a few questions about what kind of license do you need a license to be a school social worker? How long did it take to get the license? These are some questions that came over from Instagram. So I am very active on Instagram. I share a lot of my day in the life over there, a lot of vlog style content over on Instagram. All the links are going to be down below to my Instagram channel. So if you follow over on Instagram and you've come over here because you've kind of stopped and started with my lives, it gets so frustrating over there. Send me a comment right now. Let me know that you're here, and if you're not, then please do get there. I'm over there at Social Work Scrapbook, and we chat all the time. You get all my updates. You see all my kids. Hi AJ, you're here. Tracy's here too, and you told me just switch over to YouTube. You're right. So many questions. Can you do videos on marriage, parenting, and home decors? It's really interesting to see. I love seeing those videos too. That's what really got me here in the YouTube space. So I don't mind doing that. I'm taking requests, guys. So there's a request for marriage, parenting, and home decor. I can certainly do that, Tracy. And here from Instagram is Tia. Thanks for coming over and popping over, guys. I almost gave up. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And then I have a little story time for you. You're gonna laugh. Taylor is saying, hey, I've started watching you because when I graduate, I want to be a social worker. Great, thank you. I love hearing that. And you were on the live. I know a lot of us were on the live, and I was like so excited with all the community building that was happening there. All the questions were awesome, and then I get kicked off and I don't even get to save it. So here it stays. Here on YouTube it stays, but I'm not dissing Instagram. It's one of my favorite spaces to share my day-to-days with you. So please follow there if you're not doing so already. Carmen is saying, hi, you're loving the live videos. You ended your last class of the second year, first semester today, and you're such, and oh, thank you. I love being motivation to you all. Someone was asking me like how I was motivated when I was in school to study, and honestly, I went to UT Austin, can't talk anymore, it's Thursday, hook 'em horns. And I just loved all of the classes. I don't know if you love all of your MSW classes, if you enjoyed your semester. I hope you did, but I was just so intrigued by the content of every single class. Of course there's lulls in some. Let me try to adjust, but I knew that it was going to be beneficial for me and for my clients, so I just absorbed everything I could and did a lot of self-care and took some days where I didn't touch a book or a pencil or my laptop or anything, but just make sure you're taking care of yourself. That's the main way to stay motivated in my book. So funny story is I had been going live over here. Only thing was my videos were on private because that was the setting I had it under. And so I was talking to myself for a good 20 minutes, just like waiting for y'all. Like, where are you? Where are my people at? Ali is saying you're glad you came to YouTube. Yay, it seems to be working. And you're applying now to go for your master's starting in the fall of 2020. That's awesome. That's going to come before you know it. You're looking to get a job or internship this summer that's related to the field. Any ideas for an internship or a job related to social work or the master's level? Anything general. Really play with the population that you're interested in, Ali. Yeah, I want to make sure I had your name right, because it just depends. If you're interested in working with kids, then I would intern or volunteer at maybe a summer school, a summer enrichment program, anything that exposes you to that child population. Also, if you're interested in, it just depends on what you're interested in. Again, so I've always been interested in working with children and families, children and adolescents. So that's what I would say. I also volunteered and did some mentorship back at the high school that I went to. So I did some mentorship there, some outreach there. Community building is always great. Any type of volunteerism is really going to set you up. Just kind of get used to using your voice, advocating. Any job that kind of helps you step out of your comfort zone is going to prepare you for the MSW program, because that's what you're going to be doing time and time again, is stepping out of your comfort zone. And if you're not doing that, then you're just you're not doing it right. You got to push yourself, guys. You want to be sure that you're growing, that you're not supposed to know it all in your master's program. So an internship's going to be good, but the master's program is really going to set you up. So don't be afraid to ask questions. And I think that's kind of my advice. But really think about what population you want to go into. And if you're not too sure, this is the time to explore it. See what you think about kids. See what you think about geriatrics, hospital settings, things like that. Families. Yeah. So, if there's any other questions, please let me know. So many good conversations so far, but I'm not going to remember any of them from Instagram. We kind of, I'm going to stop griping about that and just let you know how my week is going and how it's going to be if I don't get any more questions. But Carmen's asking any advice on when to look for a job. When a school social work job posts for those of us who are graduating this May. When do they post? You're graduating in May. A school social work job can post at any moment, like anytime. So try to subscribe to like the jobs, like, okay. I would do a search in the district, like search now. I always search jobs, like my dream job, which was the school social work job. I used to search it even in my MSW program, so I can see exactly what they're looking for. It's like a blueprint, Carmen. So you want to be sure that you're kind of looking at, do they want you to have experience with families, experience with special ed, experience with homelessness, and then start tailoring your jobs that way. So you might not be able to get the school social work job right away, but you do want to give them the pieces that they need, so when another one opens up, you're ready to go. Your resume is prime and ready for that specific job. So that's what I did without even knowing it. So that's my tip and trick. But the school social work jobs can come at any moment. They don't hold them. It's like when someone decides to retire, the job will post. So the retirement zones, I guess, the insight I can give you is retirement's either going to happen at the end of the year, like in August, and then something will post that summer. So like, am I making sense? Okay, the year will end in May, so the post will come in June or July, sometimes August, because people don't come back from their summer break, or it will be probably around the February time zone, because the other retirement part is going to be in January. So some people don't know that. So start looking around this time and seeing what's available, and put yourself on alerts. I did that for a few school districts that I was eyeballing that never took me. Tracy's saying that you do the same and you graduate in December 2020. Good. I'm glad you're doing that already, to kind of work backwards, if that makes sense. Tia, you mentioned to sign up and take the LMSW exam before graduation or right after graduation. Are you able to do this when you plan to move to a different state? Hi, Jen. So Tia, I've never done out-of-state licensing. I'm from Texas, live in Texas, always wanted to work and continue living in Texas. For a moment, I did work outside of Texas, so I had my license here in Texas, but I worked in Kentucky. The only thing was that that was my first postgraduate job, and it didn't require a license. They just took my MSW and they went from there, so it didn't really impact me in that way. You can still get jobs with your MSW. It's just they're not going to be the most competitive or the highest paying. They're going to be pretty stressful. I was a foster care counselor. Very stressful, but very rewarding, and it just bulked up my resume like you wouldn't believe. I learned things with families, both biological and adoptive families and foster care families, school systems, court systems, children, adolescents, the whole 9 yards. So don't be afraid of those really intense jobs, because they really are gonna set your resume up to explode for the next dream job that you may have. I realize I didn't answer the question. Sorry. I'd have to check in with someone, Tia, because I've never had to license in 2 different states, but I want to say that it's possible. I'll try to get back to you. Tracy's asking, what is the highest paying job with an MSW? It just depends on the state that you live in. But I want to say it's probably in children and families. That's what I was doing some research the other day, and I think if you work like in private practice with children and families, that might be the highest paying. Hospital jobs are high too. And Tracy, actually, I would think working for the VA or in the military too is going to be a really good paying job with lots of great benefits. The benefits, that's key too. AJ is saying, I would look into other states' jurisdictions, I can't say that word, to see what they require. Yeah, thanks for chiming in, AJ, because you really want to see what's needed. In Texas, it's definitely possible. My main thing is just try to do it as soon as possible. That's what my graduate school had pushed me towards, and that was the best advice I could have. They gave me a lot of good advice. That's what I try to share here on my channel. But it's just because all the content is fresh in your mind, and some people think that you need to have a few years of social work under your belt, and you really don't, because that test is it's almost like the more experience you have with social work, the licensing test just gets tougher because you question yourself more. I don't know if that makes sense, but you just got to trust me on that. Yeah, so AJ's saying that he agrees. Take it ASAP. Was working full time when you graduated with your MSW and was so hard to find time to study. Yeah, finding the time on top of that, and then just reworking your brain, because the test just wants things in a I don't have words, guys, but the test is asking you things kind of like in a vacuum. And once you start working, you know how to think about the ins and outs, all the variations, like the different shades in between, the shades of gray. But the test really wants it in black and white. They just want to know if you know your stuff, textbook stuff. And so what better time to take the test than right after you're done with the textbook, literally the textbooks, college, graduate stuff. Jenna's saying, what are the best study materials for the LSW exam? Honestly, I used my books, like my general books from my MSW. I used those direct practice books. I did use a rental. My university had a study packet that you could rent out, so you didn't have to buy it, because it had some practice tests. It had so much in there, and you can rent it out like 3 weeks at a time. There was a wait list, but that's what I used. And there's a few online here too that you can kind of do. I use Quizlet a lot, but these are really I know you can pay for tutors and all this stuff, but I really was someone that didn't have the money to pay for study guides and this or that. So I just went off of Quizlet, made my own quizzes, and studied off of my own textbooks, and just took it as soon as I could, and it worked for me. But if any of y'all know the materials or have a suggestion, please drop it in the comments below so we can help the community out here. And Brittany Jones is saying, where would you say is the easiest place to get a job in the field with the BSW? After you become a LBSW, you want to work while going to school for your MSW. The easiest place, somewhere flexible. I don't really know. I mean, ease is going to depend on what your strengths are, but I would say maybe like an after school program that would give you time to kind of do school during the day, and then also have that work time after school. Maybe also some case management where the hours are flexible. But we know that the case management jobs, like those entry-level jobs, the caseloads are super high. So I'm going to be honest, I didn't work throughout my graduate program. I just threw myself straight into studies. So I don't really know. I know I know that there's a few. They're all going to be entry-level. With LBSW, it's going to be a lot of case management. You can get some school social work jobs, or like a behavioral interventionist. Sometimes they just need a degree in anything. CIS, Communities in Schools, is really great, but they're all demanding. So something part-time is really what I would suggest, so that you can really dedicate yourself to the MSW program. So that's going to be about it for me, guys. I'm going to get going. I'll be back next Thursday to check in again and let you know what I'm up to and see what questions you have. And so that's going to be it. I'm going to wrap up this live. Thank you for participating. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. I'm wishing you social work success, guys. Bye.